Good morning, friends. You are at That 1870s Homestead. We're going to do something really fun today. Let me grab it and I'll be right back. I found a great deal on a big pork loin, and I've canned pork loin with you guys before. I'll link that video. I'm going to do it a few different ways today, so just wanted to give you an option that if you see a steal at a grocery store or a butcher, that's where I happen to find mine, grab it up and you can get yourself some quick ready meals on the pantry. Okay, so what I have done is I've cut quite a few in thin pork chop slices and then some in thicker pork chop slices and a lot in like stew meat sized chunks. And so I'm going to lay out my thick pork chops, season those the way I want them seasoned. You can totally do it the way that you want them for your family. And then we're gonna just raw pack them as is in the jar. And then when it comes time that we're ready to can them or to cook them, I can just take them out and like pan fry them real quick. See, I think that's a little thinner. I kind of want to do all similar sizes. All right, so for the thick pork chops, we're gonna go in with a Tennessee apple butter seasoning. Now, if you wanted to make your own seasoning, go right ahead. Todd's just a seasoning junkie, so he's always buying seasoning anywhere we go, and he finds something that looks interesting. So I'm just going to rub these as I would if I was, going to grill them. That seasoning smells good. We're just going to take our quart jar and I'm going to simply place them in. All right, well, I don't want to do too much, so that's 2 meals, right? That's 4 pork chops. We'll leave that one as is, and I will do these 2 in a pint. All right, I did rinse off my tray in between because I don't want to, spread the spices around. So this set of, these are the thinner pork chops I'm doing in jerk seasoning. And similarly, just covering them as if I was doing a dry rub, getting them ready to grill. We'll rub that spice on. All right, get these loaded up in a jar. I'm not worried about being too clean with loading them in my jar because I'll just come back with vinegar and clean the rims. Just 3 and a quart. So about 3 and a quart, and might be able to get that one in there. You're one inch ahead space. Oh yeah, it fit. Okay. All right, let me rinse my pan and we'll get on to the next set. And then lastly, I'm doing some fajita meat. So I'm gonna take a lot of my stew meat, spread that out, and we will have ready-go fajita meat in a jar. And I'm hoping that this, especially this stew meat slices, will come out just nice and tender, and I'll be able to shred it up. I'm just tossing it together to get all those spices on. I tell you what, this is like one of the fastest ways to get fast ready meals on. So you can take out your pork chops, pan fry them real quick just to give them a nice crispy edge. I can take this out, warm it with some of my peppers and onions, and be ready for some taco nights. I'm not like overly packing it, just finger tender, I guess you'd say. I'm not like pushing with a lot of force. And this is raw packing. I will not be adding any water to this. We're just gonna, all right. I'm gonna go ahead and do these both in the fajita seasoning as well, just so we can get one more quart, hopefully, or pint, I mean, and then I'll be done. So, all the prep that I did was basically, cutting it and slicing it. And I have meals for days now. All right, there you go. That. All right, I'll come back and bring you guys down and we'll talk about canning temperatures, cleaning our jars, getting them ready, and then we'll get them in the canner. Okay, now we're just gonna get, like this one especially has that brown sugar, but you watched me fill these jars. I wasn't nice and neat, so I need to clean my rims of my jars really good to get any juices off of it. I'm gonna put the lid on, put the rings on finger tight, and that's that. Now, I have 4 quarts that are good enough for like dinner for Todd and I, plus leftovers, or quick dinner with the kids coming over. Or I have 3 quart jars that is nice, quick, easy lunches on a weekend or meals, just for Todd and I. So how convenient is that? I tell you what, pork loin is one of those things that if you watch those grocery store specials, you can get such a good deal on putting up some good meat in your pantry for your family. So I need to, one of my tips I'll show you guys in a minute is I need to label these jars before they go in the canner in case they look exactly the same when they come out of the canner. Oops, so I don't forget what they are. And we are going to pressure can these. I will pressure can my pints with my quarts, and I'm going to pressure can it for 90 minutes. I've been canning up a storm this week. I'm all caught up. Everything is done, plus pork and chicken. So our pantry is fully prepped, headed into the winter. Come on. What happened to you? Almost forgot to wipe that rim. Don't do that. Alrighty. Now things like the, let me bring you guys up here so I can talk to you personally. So things like the brown sugar butter, what was that flavor again? That sounded amazing. I set it over by the sink so I could wash it. This is gonna make some juices in it. So when I pull this out, I'm gonna reserve the juices and I can pour that in a pot and add a thickener to it. Even add some more beef broth if I want more gravy, and make basically a gravy drizzle on it. I'm really planning on these with those brown sugar maple Brussels sprouts we made a while ago. And then something like the jerk pork chops, we will probably just cook them as is without a glaze. And then things like the fajitas, I'm not sure, I might keep the juices as well and like pre-cook my onions and peppers in that. So yeah, let's get these over in the canner. Since they are raw packed, I'm starting with a raw cold canner, not a raw canner. So let me get my canner ready with some cold water and we'll get these going. Okay, cold water, cold cans with cold food. Everything's nice and clean. Oh, I forgot to label them, didn't I? Don't forget to label them. All right, now we're ready. So tip, magic marker or, Sharpie markers, permanent markers. If you are canning things, say you have a bad habit like I do, forgetting to label your jars before you put them in the pantry, or like me today, canning multiple things at once that might look similar coming out of the canner, labeling them before they go in, that label will stay on there. All right, let me get my lid on. And, these All-Americans, you have to make sure just so. Everything situated, and then we'll turn on the heat once it comes up to heat. I'll try to remember to do a better job to bring you guys back when this is venting. Once it starts venting, we will vent for 10 minutes and then we will start our timer for 90 minutes. I do see my battery flashing at me, so just in case that's what I'm doing. And if nothing else, I will show you what they look like coming out of the jar. All right, I don't know if you guys can see that, but we are venting. So I'm gonna start my timer for 10 minutes. And then once that's done for 10 minutes, I will put my pressure weight on for 10 pounds of pressure, which is what I need for my elevation. If you're brand new to canning, you should get comfortable with what your elevation requirements are. Once I have the weight on, I'll bring it up to 10 pounds of pressure, turn my heat to maintain that pressure, and we will then start the timer for 90 minutes.